dogging reality, road dogging realidad, road dogging reality, road dogging realidad, bilingual version. Well, today is going to be about how our entire life journey is about going from compulsive reaction to conscious choice. I believe that that's kind of like the evolution of humanity. I don't know if that's a fact, but it feels like that's the opportunity being on Earth. Like the arc of history is long, but it bends towards justice. I'm just going to believe that because it's an empowering belief. And so the arc of history is long, but it bends towards more conscious choice and less compulsive reaction. Or at least if that's not true in the zeitgeist, it's true in my life. And I hope it's true in your life. It's a great thing to aspire to. That's kind of my definition of spirituality, because people can hear the word spirituality and it can mean a million things. For me, it's just about being more conscious. And what does more conscious mean? Because that can obviously be like a way to split the world up into spiritual haves and have nots. I don't actually think that one person can be more spiritual or more conscious than another person. That's kind of BS. You are seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting. You're conscious. I'm also doing that. I'm conscious. No one's better at being conscious than anyone else. That's just spiritual materialism. However, for the purposes of like just language, we can talk about what it means to be more conscious. And I think it has everything to do with addiction and going from compulsive reaction to conscious choice. Being conscious to me means I think that I have to be one way. So I get frustrated and angry and I have to throw a fit. That's me at my less conscious. Or I feel like I'm frustrated, so I have to jerk off to some porn, or I have to eat a sleeve of Oreos, or I have to like have a beer. That is me at my less conscious. I mean, if having a beer or a couple Oreos or a wank is good for you as a self-regulating technique, no problem. No problem. No problem. The issue is when it gets to be a dependency that you can't sit with an emotion for longer than a couple of minutes because it sparks some trauma in you, some shame, and then all of a sudden, like, you have to turn towards something outside of yourself to fill the void within, and you do that as a repetition compulsion. It's not bad to do that. You came by your trauma honestly. I came by my trauma honestly. It's just when you keep doing that, you're not exactly moving from compulsive reaction to conscious choice. You're staying in compulsive reaction. So to me, being conscious is giving yourself more choices. You know, like if I'm going to have a conscious day today, I wake up, for me, I like to pray, kind of be like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'd like, and then like I invite, something else in besides my ego to run the show. Then, I don't know, there's many ways, like meditation also is kind of about emptying the chalice and like being open to be filled up. But prayer and meditation are great. Maybe you don't want to pray and meditate. No problem. No problem. No problem. I don't know what accent that is. Probably maybe Jamaican. But what is important is that you're able to feel like you have more empowering choices. So every technique, every modality is only good insofar as when you're feeling flooded by crappy emotions and you want to be self-destructive, or you want to be just like kind of like I don't want to make any emotion wrong, but kind of like indulging in the same fucking emotions like over and over again. Like you're angry again, you're fucking angry. They did something to me. It's like you get stuck in that instead of being like moving through the somatic sensations, into probably grief, which is probably underneath the anger. You know, it's like anger is like the outer membrane of grief. So the point is, let's give an example, make it concrete. I like many modalities. I like Byron Katie because it's like, what's the belief underneath this emotion? Is it really true? So let me give you, and then another modality I like is the Sedona method, which is like, could I feel this fully? Could I let it go? Would I let it go right now? Okay. And then it's just like release. Release the thought, release or feel unconditionally the feeling. Maybe do them both at the same time. Something happens. I could either resist what is and let it bother me, or I could start to release on it and release some of the power I give to the thoughts of this shouldn't be happening. So let me give you a concrete example. My car had a flat tire. I was on the way to work. This was yesterday. I was gonna lose $125 for like right away, which is frustrating. Plus I have to pay probably for the tire, which is probably another $150. That's frustrating. I don't like losing money. So I went waiting for the tow truck. I sat down and I did some coherent breathing, and I just released my vision of what the day should look like. My belly released, my jaw released. And I released the idea that I should have this much money as opposed to this much money. And I was like, how is this happening for you? This upset, how is it a setup for me to grow? Well, I have a hard time with scarcity and impatience. So it's like, let's practice working on them. So these are just examples of how something so simple can be like a catalyst of your evolution if I make a conscious reaction. A conscious response. Compulsive reaction is, this shouldn't be happening. I'm being put upon. What the fuck? Why does nothing ever go my way? Victim mentality. I need a drink because life is so hard. Like, can you ever get ahead? And like sexualizing the feelings, which is something men do a lot. Or like, which, I just didn't do yesterday. This is supposed to be me documenting my experience for 365 days. I'm not trying to be a goody two-shoes here, but like doing coherent breathing and releasing the thoughts and emotions. And then I ended up playing the harmonium. That shit was sweet. So I'm glad I got a fucking flat tire, because I'm like, bring it on, reality. Give me what I need to evolve. Still not my preference, but it was how I made a conscious choice. So how do you become more conscious? Give yourself more options than just reacting in one way. It's never to make yourself wrong. You're angry, don't make your anger wrong. Don't try and spiritualize your anger. But it's how do you respond to that anger? Do you throw a fit and take it out on other people? Or can you contain it, feel even deeper into it, feel maybe the grief behind it? Like maybe by releasing anger, you feel something else that was being held in your diaphragm, for example. And I could talk more about somatic experiencing, but at the end of the day, it's just, can you feel things fully and then let them move? Can you not give power to the thoughts that are telling you that you're a victim or better than other people? Might not be a victim. You might have thoughts that say other people are mere muggles and I am better, which is something I'm very familiar with. Let me just release that one right now. Yeah, I'm just like you. And we're both muggles. Just some basic ass muggles. But I like it. No spiritual superiority here. And if there is in there, I release it. I invite it to be fully lived. That's just a me processing my superiority. So I hope that was helpful to someone. It was a little bit of an odd one, but that's what being more conscious means to me. Our entire life is about going from compulsive reaction to conscious choice. That's a quote of my grand sponsor. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe. Check out my website. It's in the YouTube. Road Dogging Realidad.